lot of her hits with Nair and Fair. It's very, very masterful. I'm excited to see how this one's going to go because honestly, I think this is a very unfamiliar matchup for probably both of them at this level.
At least a little bit. I know that Beastmodepaul has definitely had his ins and outs. There are a couple of local Samuses to CFL and down in that southeastern seaboard of the United States. But immediately getting that bounce, that's obviously going to be a big help because Samus's biggest tool in any matchup, her best tool as a character, is that charge shot. Any moment where that's shut down is a moment where she is going to struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell, though, Icymist already having to move around the gameplay with it as well. Going for a little bit more grab here, trying to bait out the jump. Will be able to find one charge shot. It's the down air, back air, and now potentially going off, but she does roll into the kaboom right there, allowing for Paul to get back onto stage very safely. But once again, we're going to see much more of a slower pace between both of these players.
Yeah, these two definitely want to play at a zone. Now Icymist will have to get a little bit closer, using a lot of the Zair when we see that bounce come up, but Paul able to live. He is a bit of a speed reader too, because the moment that he sees the B or the P for bounce or psych up, he will get that before you can even process that that is on the menu. He is just scholastic with it.
Absolutely. Still going to once again pluck the bounce here. Gotta watch the MP. You can bring MP back up by getting a couple more hits in with that sword. But the way that Icymist is playing, not really letting Paul get too much here. Still, though, going to just charge up, and both of them at this point, right? Either psych up or charge shot. Both of them, the up throw not going to be able to do it. But once again, Paul just holding very, very firm.
Trying to use that psych up optimally right there, but will instead use the level 2 zap. And swoosh, not enough to do it off the side either. Icymist taking her time to make it back to stage. And does, but Beastmodepaul still putting on the pressure. Forward tilt's enough to do it. So CFL's hero player will indeed play the hero right there. Going up one stock, but that evaporates quickly as Icymist just charges him with that dash attack to even it up.
Yeah, jab one into dash attack, a little bit of style here, but now Paul gonna find a huge kaboom to stack on about 35%. But once again, Icy going to be able to link 2 up airs here to at least get damage on the board. You gotta watch for the up special out of shield. It's so, so good. It's a nice way to have what Fab said was an eject button in any matchup.
Well, not only that, it can also be a combo starter in some cases as well, right? Especially when you can up-B them onto the platforms with you. That whoosh is definitely a terrifying move to get hit by, but nonetheless, Beastmodepaul playing with some great spacing right here, taking really good moments to swing at Samus as well, because it's really easy to miscalculate. What did I say about the psych-ups, by the way?
Yeah, all the time.
Press 1 if you were actually able to process that psych-up was there before it got selected, because I did not.
Still, though, Paul going to be off stage right now. Bounce is active, so Icy going to have to find a way to get in without this charge shot, and now the positions are going to be reversed on stage right now. 35, and I love the way that Paul is playing this so aggressive right now, but the up special actually just going to go through Kaswoosh, because that makes sense.
That does not make sense. I don't even know how that happened. It's something about lightning and wind and tornadoes and all that, I guess. Talk to a meteorologist about it. We got to talk to these players right now. That we got to see how they're getting through this game. Icymist right now saying, I'm going to do it with the big B button.
Yeah, I love the way that she's like, all right, you get bounced, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Wow, the back air comboing off of the charge shot here into the dash attack right now. Once again, Paul finding the psych up, but honestly now you have to get rid of this stock as fast as possible. Icy though with a very unsteady dash in and will be able to find the flame slash KO. We're not even gonna get anything fancy here. We're just gonna charge up Kafriz and go next up.
If you're wondering why you always hunt for psych up, that's why. That shield damage gets so crazy. And Paul, because of that speed reading, right, has made such good use of that Flame Slash. We saw even to end that set against Mute, right? Flame Slash came in clutch, and now also getting that stock off of Icymist. But does not mean that this game is even. Icymist has a huge lead right now in terms of percentages. The moment that bounce is gone, start looking out for the big blue ball.
Ooh, okay, finding the dash attack here, sending Paul once again to the corner right now, trying to find the charge shot timing. Will just get the weak one into the little swoop there. Icymist gonna be able to take game 1 in a JV2.
Icymist has probably out of all the Samuses in North America, the best understanding of how to combo off of that charge shot. Not just when it's almost fully charged and you get tons of hits done, but also those baby charge shots, the half charges, the 3/4. All of those give you different combo routes and different opportunities, and especially keeping in mind when the opponent has to choose between teching on the ground, missing their tech, buffering a roll in. Any of that Looks like she's got an answer for it every single time. So Beastmodepaul gonna have to make some adaptations to fight back here in game 2.
Absolutely. Fabs and I earlier were talking about Icymist, and I said she is what I'd like to call a tempo maker. She really kind of takes the game into her own hands and then forces her opponent to play her game. And that's kind of the nature of Samus, right? So it's honestly all about, Paul, how you're able to kind of get Icymist out of her favorite zone here. Right now, though, doing a good job, already stacked up about 85% and has the bounce ready to go. So now Icymist is going to need to start scrapping very soon.
Beastmodepaul, that time showing off, right? Sometimes he can tech in, sometimes he can make some other way to get out of those situations where the Samus has that tech chase going. Has Acceleratle up right now, so we'll take additional knockback from Samus's moves, but the more important part, obviously, is that crazy buff and movement speed. We take that free damage off of the freeze as well. Icymist is not even bothering to mash out, but Beastmodepaul taking that extra damage to the bank. 179, even a psych up air would be able to KO right now.
Ooh, okay, going for the swoosh on the stage for a little extra style. Icymist not going to be one to fall into it right now. Still, Beastmodepaul kind of stuck in the corner here. I can appreciate a player playing a little bit more patient here, especially versus Samus. Icymist, though, going to be able to find the dash attack, but like we said, hero players are always able to find what they need, and there's that zoom.
I wonder why in those situations where Paul is stuck in the corner is that psych up forwarder will just KO across the stage straight up. You've seen a couple times where he's holding that shield, sitting in corner with Icymist charging up that charge shot, but hero can block projectiles with his shield if he's just standing there, and I wonder why Beastmodepaul doesn't do that.
Interesting. Still, once again, back to neutral here. Icymist going to start taking a little bit of a percentage loss right now. A lot of these dash attacks, though, are starting to become a little bit more unsafe as Paul is adapting here. Icymist trying to, once again, thread the needle with the backer, but still not going to be able to find it. Trying to find a way in, but Paul now putting up a wall of forward air that's proving a little bit hard for Icymist to get around.
Well, it's not going to get any easier with that bounce up, neutralizing all of that projectile game. So Icymist is either just going to have to wait it out or play a much more martial game, and there you see the risk of that, right? If Beastmodepaul gets timing down on those aerials, he could get a big punish, especially when he's all psyched up like this. 56% built up on Icymist, who's still trying to bite into that first stock from Paul.
Acceleratle is going to come into play here as we could potentially get one of those runoff fairs that I love what Hero does. My goodness, look at that. Using a little bit of the Acceleratle boost to slide right back in, but there is the fully charged Kafriz. It's Beastmodepaul going up 3 stocks to 1, but only for a quick moment as Icymist going to dash attack to respond.
Still not over that movement, right? Had the Acceleratle and then hit that B reverse as well to just hit on, like you said, with that Kafriz, so much damage. I got a charge shot of my own waiting for you. And once again, here's that bounce, so no early combo starters off of that charge shot, at least not for the moment. That gives Paul an opportunity to apply some pressure. Now with that bounce gone, Icymist puts him into the corner and says, I hope you stay there.
Absolutely, looking for the dash attack. Paul going for the pivot grab, not going to be able to find it. Good roll through the charge shot and able to get the side special as well. Acceleratle back in play right now as Icymist finally going to be able to find the charge shot dash attack right in. Once again, though, Paul just being so elusive with the movement. The sizzle not going to be able to stop the charge shot here. And once again, Kimona, we're going back to this Icymist having Paul on the ledge type of game.
Yeah, but Acceleratole's going to help you out big time. You just see him popping that air dodge straight into center stage. No way to chase him. Look at him following up. That forward air would have been a crazy way to finish that combo, but here we are, Hero back to the ledge, and right as that Acceleratle runs out too, still holding on to his second stock. That roll was a big opportunity maybe for Icymist. Drop that, but does continue the ledge trap as the zoom comes out. Oh my goodness, and the snipes across the stage. The pure guess working out, but it's not enough to take Paul down.
But it is, though, Paul with no magic in the meter to actually get the full swoosh off. Good on Paul, but now all you have to do is just get rid of one Icymist stock. You already have Psych Up, you already have Bounce. Things are already starting to work in your favor very, very well. Uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh.
I love Hero. I love Hero. I see Beastmodepaul's dad on the balcony clapping too.
We love that. You got it, son. You're the best.
He has been so invested all weekend.
Love that.
It's been very fun to watch. But man, that whack KOing, I know a lot of y'all at home are mad about that, but Paul, I mean, you saw him cycling through that menu so many times. He was looking for that whack because once you're plus 100%, I think it's even better than a coin flip for that to get the KO, not to mention that thwack would be even better, right? So he goes, look, if it doesn't KO, I'm not going to chuck a wobbly about it, but there are pretty good odds that this is going to work for me.
1-1 right now between Icymist and Beastmodepaul. This set has been really fun to watch. I just love the character diversity that we have in this top 8 here. But Paul, though, going to be the one that gets the first blood here in terms of percentage and actually holding really well underneath the Hollow Bastion platform. A lot of the times we're going to see this platform come into play here as now Icymist starting to bleed out heavily on this first stock. Paul going for the side special, but that actually gave Icymist an opportunity to get right in there.
Great patience right here center stage. Don't know if he wanted the dash attack, but doesn't get punished for it nonetheless. And here we see again, right? Icymist threatening that charge shot, but Beastmodepaul really putting up the shield. That right there is that trample hitbox with the shield on the F-1. That worked out for him, and there's the bounce as well. So Paul kind of getting a whole lot of the spells that he really needs. Gets that psych up, a little bit of a punish for Icymist, but still, with some mana, Paul is going to be able to make it back to stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Icymist going to be able to once again loop the charge shot into the finisher for the stock here. You can tell Paul, once again, you've been talking about this a lot, Kimona, the way that he cycles through the menu so quickly, knows exactly what he needs. The bang not going to be able to connect into Icymist, and the snooze as well. This gives Icymist some time to actually go back into the corner and collect what she needs, but instead, once again, Paul back air, able to find the stock. We're back to even.
The psych up immediately too, less than a second and he's got it. He is not a top decker. He can just read that fast. So I mean, big shout outs to Paul for honing that skill. Let's get that up tilt to get his own advantage started. Like you said, the center platform, being the one that can camp under that and make use of your projectiles, that is going to be the defining factor of this pivotal game 3.
Still finding the zoom exactly. Icymist not going to shoot the charge shot there, but once again, Paul able to loop in these hits again. Psych up now active here, and especially on a stage like Hollow Bastion, another one of those back airs off the side could do it. Finds a back air here, has the kaboom ready to go, but instead will kind of get the option select for the snooze. The up smash is not going to be enough though, so now Icymist has one more opportunity to get this Rage Hero out of here.
I can't believe that snooze didn't lead into a KO, but Samus definitely heavy enough to live that up smash. And of course, there's a 1 in 8 chance to just explode the opponent's stock. Didn't have enough mana to toss out that spell he wanted either, so Paul gonna have to hold on to that Kafrizz until later. Does not find connection though, only burning away half that shield, and Icymist just takes back to the side of the stage to make sure that shield gets regenerated.
This second stock is being so stubborn and coming off for either player here. Paul going to cycle through the zoom and get a little bit of charge on the neutral B. Forward air though, with that amount of rage, will be taking that stock. Icymist going on, but the question is for how this set has been playing out, for how long. Here we go though, charge shot into the grab. Great spot dodge by Paul. Great reversal with the back air, and we have a game, Kimona.
One stock apiece, trading projectiles, and Paul will happily take that trade as well as getting the heal up afterwards. You only get 2 of those per stock, but he is making use of it right there, keeping his survivability up, taking a small percent lead, but Icymist quickly turning things around with the ledge trap. Kaboom almost bailed Paul out. He's got to be really careful to not get launched off stage right now because he is running so low on that mana. Now has enough to be able to make it back, but the question is, does Icymist have a KO setup ready right now?
87, 90, and now 100 on Paul here. Once again, always able to cycle the zoom exactly when he needs it here. Icymist, though, going to catch the jump with the up air. Paul with psych up ready to go. Icymist being so careful, but the charge shot will send Paul off. Accelerado will help, but unfortunately not going to be able to grab the ledge. Sometimes you just fly a little bit too far crazy. That is going to be Icymist narrowly escaping game 3.
You would think that even one of the best hero players in the world, right, would be able to control hero with Accelerado, but you move so fast and it changes your physics and your properties so drastically that even though he's probably popped Accelerado a few thousand times in his life, still not able to control it well enough. And that just speaks to the skill ceiling that there is with this character, especially with that Accelerado. So it's an unfortunate way for a really tense back and forth game 3 to end, but here we are with Beastmodepaul getting right back into it, hoping to keep this set alive. As we go into game 4, Icymist just needs one more to close this set out and launch herself deeper into the bracket.
And this is exactly where Icymist can start to play Samus the way that people hate, right? Go into the corner, wait for the opponent to come to you. But once again, Paul having this amazingly explosive start, the kaboom will do it as we have a perfect stock, Kimona.
0 to death. Call that a flawless stock, like you said. And look, Paul had every opportunity to kind of style and say, I could click that Hocus Pocus. I've never seen him hit Hocus Pocus once in my entire life because he plays this character to win.
Absolutely. Still, Icymist trying to read out with the forward air, not going to be able to find it. Look at Paul, though. Crackle Slash is going to get interrupted right now as Icymist going to be able to loop 2 back airs together and now going to be stuck on the ledge. Paul with a very great lead. If we're able to get something started, this lead could spell treachery for Icymist.
Ooh, there's that down smash. Needs the zoom and does get it. The closer you are to the blast zone, the more likely it is that you do roll that on your menu, and Paul does get it, so able to hang on for a little bit while longer. Been real pesky for Icymist to eliminate right now, and that's going to give him the opportunity to build up some more mana and potentially use some big spells.
Okay, side special going to come out from Paul here, as once again, we're just trying to find a way to extend this lead a little bit more. Still going to be able to cycle bounce, and this fair and the nairs have been greatly placed by Paul this entire set so far. Now Icymist once again trying to thread the needle by jumping over and getting the back air, but now Paul is not letting her get that at all. Still, Icy finally going to be able to find a grab, but nothing much off of it as well.
And Paul's movement has been so pretty. Whether he has Accelerauto or not, he has been maneuvering himself in some very delicate and fun to watch ways. Nonetheless, though, at 142, got to be careful of that charge shot. That probably would have gotten the KO. And actually, the reverse hit of the Nair 2 is going to send him into the blast zone. So stocks do go back to even, but now Paul gets a fresh stack of mana to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, here comes Icymist with the combo chain here to kind of throw Paul off balance. Once again, shooting out the down special to try and get something started. But I like the side specials coming in from Paul. Side special from Hero is such a great move in terms of spacing, too. It does so much disruption. But now we get a little bit of a scramble on the platform right here. Icymist going to be able to shield through the snooze, and this interaction will not stop. Icymist able to turn the percentage back in her favor, but once again, these stocks are not coming off easy.
No, that was a great call by Paul right there, where he could have been stuck in a really bad ledge trap scenario, but he decided, well, if I trade this back air with that bomb, I'm going to be the one that comes out on top. Back hit of that up tilt too, making it slightly safer for him as well. There you see that swoosh. It's not enough to take that stock, but does give a really big active hitbox at the ledge that's tough for Icymist to deal with. There's that tech chase scenario again, though, this time not right at the ledge, so Paul's able to hold on, able to make it back with that great aerial drift on that whoosh as well, and he is just waiting this out. That's going to be an easy stock, though. No!
Unfortunately, misspaced on the down smash here. The forward air is not going to be able to do it, as once again, like you said, Pomona, going to be able to cycle the zoom here. The up throw, though, will definitely take it. Once again, Icymist now on match point to go further into this loser's bracket here at Gateway Legends.
On the verge of moving on, just like you said, these two East Coast players are looking to make it big in the Midwest, and Grab Armor actually stopping Samus from falling asleep. I feel like I've never seen that before, but I guess it works.
Okay, charge shot 2 going to come in, but I think that was an accidental pivot on Icy's side here. Paul going for the swoosh, will not be able to find the stock. It's so unfortunate. Once again, Samus a little bit heavier here as Icy going to take her sweet time getting back to stage, and actually the swoosh helped her a little bit, but Paul good, able to take that stock.
Now he's got to find a way to land on stage against a Samus, and with very little mana to work with, right? Got to land a lot of these normals. That's one of the most common ways that you'll see the heroes apply that jab, is when they need that mana, they just want to guarantee a couple of hits. And oh my goodness, here comes Paul right now. The cavalcade of spells, tons of damage. There's the sizzle as well. He just keeps going with that downbeat.
It's looking so scary too. Hero mains want one thing. We saw Kamikaze and Thwack right next to each other on the menu. Still, the baby charge shot trying to read the roll with the F smash. Great back air there by Icymist. Still, gotta watch Paul having bounce here. Very, very important. Icy trying to bait out an option. Will be able to find the dash attack. It's not going to be enough. Here comes Paul. Gets the zoom. Cannot find the fair off the platform. But Paul, once again, going to be able to thread the needle with the back air. You gotta watch out, though, Icymist. You gotta get around this somehow. Great evasion.
Somehow able to maneuver around it with Paul looking for the finishing blow, but could not land it. Same goes for Icymist with that dash attack, waiting until the last possible second to pop that zoom. I think he actually needed the mana to kind of build up so that he could actually use it, because you don't want to let it go away. These two are slipping and sliding all around each other. Paul popping out of his chair, landing that forward air. We're going to Game 5, and I have never seen Paul this fired up.
This psyched up, if you will. Jeez, my goodness, Paul taking us to another Game 5. It goes to show, once again, we've been talking about it all weekend, how talented the pool of players are here in this top 8. It will be the same matchup, no Sephiroth in sight. We will be seeing Funny Magic Man make another appearance.
Let's see if it will pay off for Beastmodepaul. He's looked excellent, but vulnerable in some spots in this set. It's really just been a battle of the advantage between these two players, right? That they have both just been looking for their big combos, and they found big moments where their opponent gives them something in a disadvantage that they can close out that stock on. Paul right now landing that Crackle Slash again. No mash out from Icymist, so Paul says, yep, I will take all that free damage, thank you.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen the same start from Paul every single time. Just throwing out the spell, stacking on a ton of damage here, and now Icymist has to find a way to bring this back. There's the Kaboom, and on Hollow Bastion, that's definitely going to be taking the stock. With the smaller ceiling kimono, we don't have to really worry about Kaboom doing its job.
Just 6.3% taken, and yeah, like you said, Blast Zone's not going to be a problem for a hero player, right? If it's going to KO, it's probably just going to KO, not barely. It's going to come out real quick. But here comes Icymist again. We talked about it. Battle of the advantage states, right? She has been the one to match Paul step for step with each of these crazy sequences. Bounce comes out though, so Icymist does have to stick to the Marshall game.
All she has to do is keep it calm, keep it cool, and collected. But once again, Paul has been so tricky coming up from ledge with the side special, with the forward air and the back air as well. Still, though, side special is going to get eaten up by the charge shot here. Paul on the verge of losing the stock potentially, but once again has done an amazing job of getting a lot of damage this so far. Now, once again, Icymist going to be able to hit the eject button, as Paul will hit an eject button of his own.
He pressed the big red button. Zoom me out of here, please. Now he's back on stage at 164. Can't get grabbed. Up B, not going to be enough to do it either. Hero's a pretty heavy character, and now, again, going to be no usage of projectiles for Icymist, and it has given her some fits. There's the Kaboom! Oh my goodness, it just lasts so long, Lyric!
Yeah, I think Icymist definitely underestimated the amount of time that Kaboom stays active, because that actually picked her up off of the getup at that point. But Paul, what an amazing lead. 187, tons of rage. The leg was out again. Everything could have gone awfully wrong for Icymist there, but we'll be able to at least get the stock. We still have a game going, but now Icymist has to turn on the jets.
Yeah, not all doom and gloom for her. She's still working with the stock, which means there is a possibility, but every little bit of chip that Paul gets counts. The Kaboom, again, her not mashing out that time definitely saved her, because that Kaboom would have put her in the blast zone and ended this set, but she is still barely holding on. That Bang not going to do anything either. And Icymist is racking up a bit of damage on Paul.
Whoa, okay, we saw the quick hover over the Kamikaze, but once again, you cannot be playing cat and mouse with Icymist here. Now getting everything that he needs, my goodness! Beastmodepaul gonna be able to go on in bracket after beating Mutace, after beating